The biggest kefira, I wanted to tell you. I read Gemara with Artscroll because I'm lazy. But Artscroll is Apikarsis. Why is that? He's bigger Apikarsis than the Rambam, of course. The Rambam just said, look, maybe Talmud, he didn't believe in Talmud in the sense of law. But in the give and take, he said, like, just tell us the halacha. Why are you wasting my time? I didn't know what to do. But the Rambam at least didn't do the Apikarsis that Artscroll did, which is to say that there's no such a thing as a Shveir Gemara. Did you notice? I wanted, you know, that, why am I saying such shtissim today? There's a story that goes like this. I have a problem. I don't talk with enough people the whole week, so all the things that I have. So there's a story that there's a mass about Mendelson's biur and the Torah. It's not true, but there's just a mass that goes like this: that someone said that it's a pikarsis. Why? Because in the Masechet Sanhedrin it says, and then of course, just lest you think that our Chachamim were Tmimim and they believed in the Mishnah. What do you mean? We just told you if you ask this question, you're not because go to Alava. No, whole lot of Gemara. How do you know? And obviously, there's not. If there would be one answer, okay, this is what the Mishnah meant. Maila. There's 17 answers. I don't know how. Some number like that, right? Which means everyone says the other one. You're saying shtis, and that's not what it means, right? Become on as ever please. Seriously, that you can't. You know how to read a puzik. Statnish days, right? That's not what it means, right? So basically, they're having an argument, and in other words, until this day, we don't know if Chismat Natoida after you learn this Gemara, because there's so many options, and we don't know if even one of them is correct, right? So, in any case, I'm just showing finishing Gemara. It's like not like the Gemara was like, we are afraid of the Sigya because Shalom Epikars. But the important thing is, then, so this Chacham said, I'm just using this. So Chacham said, so he said, if you look in the Pashtunim and the Rishonim, like the Kasha was like, okay, you just think Al Pshat. So what's wrong? The Rasha also said Al Pshat. He says Rasha might have decided that half of the people in that Gemara were wrong and the Pshat is different, but at least one or two times he did say he has one Mikar for somewhere that's the Pshat, that Chesem Ma'is Ma'atayr. But you'll see here, he chose always the other Pshat. So he's not a Pekayis, because there's no Pusik, in other words, it's like this question, could you have the Pshat of the Pusik? Could you have only the Pshat, or do you have to have some drushes? And then there's the argument, and then people are mad at the people at Mendelson for writing the pshat only, because some of like we have the Mishnah of Chesem Ma'is Torah. This Mishnah is basically saying, I know that it doesn't say in the Torah, right? If it would have said in the Torah, it wouldn't have had such a Mishnah, right? So you have to know how to find the questions behind the answers, right? So he's saying, but in any case, since the Mishnah is saying that you do in order for whatever Elam Haba to work, you have to have Chesem Ma'is Torah. So you have to have it somewhere. So you can't go entirely of Pshat. You can go 90% of Pshat, but you have to have one of them. But these people, these modern people, they try to be consistent. So if you're consistent, then you never have that. So then you're Pekayis. That's the Torah that someone said. And ich sage also, Artscroll is not Pekayis. Why? Because there's a lot of Mefarshim, okay? A lot of Mefarshim that think that many Gemuras are problems that were solved instead of questions that we asked. Okay. But each one of them, if you read Rashi, you know, one of the most beautiful things about Rashi, but even not only, every single Mefarish. Sometimes Rashi comes and says, I have no idea what this says. I need that. Right? That shows you that firstly, it shows you that he was a human being and didn't know everything. But also shows you that he was an honest human being. That he didn't just make up a pshat, because Rashi was creative enough. He could have made up a pshat for everyone. I need that. There's all kinds of people that do that all the time. If you don't know it, I don't know what this word means. Just say something. So hard. Look in the next Mefarish, you'll see he just said something. Yeah, but Rashi is like, no. Now, you could ask, the other time it seems like you also just said something. Okay, but then it made sense to him, and whatever the criteria for him of making sense didn't work here. Because I don't know. And then even in Gemara, sometimes Rashi says, this Gemara I don't understand. And I'm sure if you learn other Mefarshim, there's many Gemaras that they say, this Gemara doesn't add up, doesn't work. But Artscroll, everything works. Did you notice? There's not one Gemara that they write, listen, read, dear reader, nobody understands this Gemara. It's a problem, it's a question. So, it's true that I'm making the analogy from that Torah. It's true that every Mefarish has a different Gemara that doesn't understand. But Artscroll, the Abakars, they're malakit, every one where they do understand. Turns out there's not one Gemara that's fair. So we're never learning anything. The mamish covered up the whole thing. Everything is finished. Everything is smooth. So therefore, Artscroll is the opposite of Talmud.